Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, and welcome to Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. How you doing, Jackson?
Good, how are you?
So what's up? Fantastic. We got the whole crew here. Hey, look, sweet baby James behind the computer answering your questions on social media. There he is in the control room. And of course, to my right, it's the one and only Matt Doolittle.
Hello, everybody. And you know where you can find Sweet Baby James's fantastic work? That is at our website, dailyflashshow.com. There you can send us a note, flash@dailyflashshow.com. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff on our social media outlets, because everybody has to have one.
I agree.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Matt, thank you. And of course, James will be hot on that keyboard all morning.
So you think you say he's the guy? He's answering the social media. So.
We here at Daily Flash employ the latest technology.
100%.
How about that, huh?
You know, there's some folks in the world that have never used these or have seen one in life. This is
a rotary dial phone.
Say it again, one more time. Rotary
dial phone.
And tell me how this works.
Now, here's the thing. This is called a landline.
Land?
And it plugs into a phone outlet with this little thing
This
here.
is a real one. This is
real. This actually works, too.
That's cool.
This I've had for ages, but it is an actual real working phone. When you pick up the handset, there's a cord that's attached, right? So you can't go too far with it. And then when you listen, there's a dial tone. And then you have to dial the number.
Interesting.
You know.
These are a relic of a day and age past, right?
It is. What's interesting about the landline is that they are making a comeback with parents. And parents are saying, Parent Magazine just posted this article saying, parents are now thinking about using a landline to keep a closer eye on their kids, who they're talking to, monitor the amount of time they're on their phone, and to create better communication. And it is working.
I wonder, you know, what, it's probably cheaper as well.
Yes.
Than, you know, because I remember getting a landline, and you know, obviously a cell phone would cost more per month, so it makes more sense. I could see a kid in an argument where they're saying, well, all my friends have cell phones, I have to have one if you want to get a hold of me.
And that brings up the bigger conversation. When is the appropriate age to give a child a cell phone? You know, by the time they're 2, they want a screen, right? Everywhere we go, there are screens. Here you go, here's your babysitter, dial up YouTube, grab a bunch of cartoons, keep them busy, right? Yeah. So then at what point do you say, okay, you can have a phone? What age do you think would be appropriate for
well, you know, I gave all my kids when they became teenagers. When they was 13, I gave them. I think
you did?
If now having 13 years old, so I felt like, you know, they were responsible enough for it. Had I done it again, I gave our. They would always get the old ones where it wouldn't have a phone, but you could hook it up to the Wi-Fi.
Like a jitterbug or something.
Well, no, you could. I'd give them my old iPhones.
Oh, I gotcha.
And it would work with Wi-Fi. But so if they're out and about. But nowadays, most phones, you know, you get a family plan, and then, you know, everybody can have it. All right, back to what I was originally going to say, is that my now 14-year-old, he's had one for a couple of years, and we have to make sure every single night that he leaves it out in the front room, plugged in, because we don't know what's happening in the middle of the night.
Yes.
And, you know, kids are going to be kids. And even me, and Matt, I'm sure you can agree with it, just when it's on the table at dinner, it's just, everything we need is right here, and it does become addictive. So I can see how this works. However, I do not want to be the parents of that have the landline hearing kids complain about how they have to have a cell phone. Did you have a cell phone when you were in high school?
No.
Were your parents worried that they'd never get a hold of you?
No. In fact, they'd call for dinner like at 6 p.m. and like scream my name in the neighborhood to come home.
Hey,
when I started driving at 16, I got one. Because they wanted to make sure I had something from her. It was the little Nokia one where you couldn't do anything but play Snake on it. But I mean, it was, you know, it was something at the time. Yeah.
Snake, I totally remember that game.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm doing like one of my side hustles now. I just started training. It's at a major, you know, corporation thing, and they're taking us to the training last week and everything. And they're like, you wouldn't believe how many of the college program kids we have to teach a landline operation.
Oh yeah, because a business would have.
Because they have to have them on property. Because not everybody there gets a company phone, and we're not allowed to use our personal ones in certain spaces. So they've had to have a separate course on how to reuse a landline phone.
Oh my!
I sat there like this last week, like, can I go to lunch for an hour? Because I know how to use that. Like, do I need to be through this?
Are you the old man there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And our executive producer Hugo is saying we remembered everybody's phone number.
Yeah.
100%.
I still remember my mom's phone number, but I couldn't tell you Alan's phone number, my boyfriend. I always have to ask him, what's your cell phone number again? I cannot remember it.
I get yelled at because I don't know my wife's.
I know the first 3 digits.
Yeah, I do too. I know the first 3 digits.
I know I'll tell you in a commercial break, but I know my wife, my new wife's phone number because it's very easy to remember. It's got a lot of a similar number in it. So it's but the only other number I know besides that is my ex-wife's phone number. So and if I ever get put in jail,
I can remember my ex's too. Yeah.
You know
she ain't gonna answer.
No, she's not.
So I was like, I gotta remember this one. It is, and you think about that, like, and having an ICE number in your phone, just like stuff small like that. But how we don't know everything we have. Just think about this. Take a phone away from somebody, and they're powerless.
Well, and I don't know if you guys were following that story, how they busted this whole Chinese ring of folks that were trying to cripple cell phone towers so they could stop communication. I saw this. So, God forbid something like that happens. How do we communicate? Most of us don't have landlines, right?
You're 100% right. Yeah.
And then if we do, like you said, whose number do you know?
The only place I've still seen payphones actively around.
A payphone.
A payphone. It was New York City. They still have them available for people up there. Yes.
So I am 100% sure the White House does not have cellular. They have an actual landline that would call Russia or whatever. And
the red phone.
For some reason, I think it'd be a press button, but because what we have is like press 1 for nuclear war. It's a rotary phone. They can't.
I'll be late.
So I love this thing, but I would imagine too, it cuts down. You can tell the kids, hey, look, go touch grass, and I don't have to worry that they're outside touching grass, but on their phone. And I wish it would go back that way. And I remember when cellular age comes, like, well, you're always going to have a cell phone. You remember a landline, right?
Yeah.
You're always going to have a landline no matter what. And I remember the first time I moved, and I was like, I don't really need a phone. I have a cell phone here. Why would I even need?
Yeah, I remember the time where I decided, okay, I don't need a landline any longer. And it was sort of one of those moments where, like, should I? Should I not?
You were tethered.
I was tethered. I'm gonna cut it off. It's done. But I guess the other bigger question too with cell phones and kids, when do you allow them to have social media?
And it's interesting. I think we talked about this last week. Some of the creators and big to-dos at Twitter, or now X, and Facebook and Instagram, all saying, I will not let my kids have a cell phone until they're an adult, until they're much older. And I would not allow them to be on Facebook or these social media sites. They're the ones that create it and say, I don't want my kids on it. It tells you how.
Isn't that scary?
It's very scary.
Yeah.
And some people laugh at it. I'm just like, how can you?
You've got we're now seeing the studies that we always were wondering, like, what's it going to be like in 20 years after? So, because that's when you really start seeing the data of how it's affected people. And look at the anxieties and everything. I had to interact with a kid the other day, and he was like, oh, man, you look like you have an anxiety. And I'm like,
they said,
nah, man, I'm tired. Like, it's not anxiety. Like,
it's called life.
It's called 40.
It's called 40.
All right, we want to know, is there other great things that maybe you would do? Is this a landline a great idea? Would you get one in your home if it was very, very cheap and affordable?
Yeah,
all right.
Which I think it is, but
100%. We'll be waiting for your phone. This is heavy, too.
I know, right?
Now, you talk about super moms. You got a super mom story here.
You could actually kill somebody with this thing. It could be a weapon at home.
I love it.
This mom, amazing. She's gone viral after winning a video game tournament in Florida while holding her newborn. Talk about commitment,
this is
right?
So cool.
The gamer, who goes by the handle Legion, entered a Mortal Kombat tournament in Orlando, Florida, just 5 days after giving birth via C-section. Legion defeated 3 other players, including her own husband.
I love. She's from Miami, and they had this tournament here in Orlando, and she had that baby 5 days prior to doing this and held it the entire time. That, to me, says everything about women. First off, they can do 10 things at once.
100%.
But if a guy zones in something, we're really good at it. But here's a mom, and she probably was even talking at the same time while she was playing. And Mortal Kombat's not an easy game.
No. That's a lot of codes and up downs, and I don't remember any of them.
Right, and that's our boss lady right now. I think that's
major
awesome.
Boss lady. Yeah.
And a woman to win it as well is a big deal, because we normally think of gamers, we think men, and that's not the case.
Now, was the drive home quiet?
It had to be. If you beat your husband.
You beat your husband. No, is there a point
the baby
where
was the only thing making noises.
Yeah, exactly. Was there a point where she thought, maybe maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should let him win.
It's only been 5 days.
Yes.
And we all know when you have a baby and all the attention's to the mom, the husband becomes the second baby.
It's true, yes.
But congratulations, sir. I think that's just an awesome story here. There's some great women out there. And women that play video games are kind of hot to me, too.
Of course.
And a mom.
They make the most on Twitch.
I believe it. I love it that anybody that goes against the grain of what they do. So congratulations, sir.
Yes.
We got more Flash coming up. Stick around. We love having you along.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Sound off on any of the topics we're talking about today. Hi, welcome back to Daily Flash. Homeowners and buyers are scrambling to find and sell homes after a flurry of lawsuits against online realtor Zillow. So what is really at stake here? Here to talk more about it is Jeremy Knopf. He's a real estate professional and founder of Spartan Media. Jeremy, thanks so much for joining us. For consumers who use sites like Zillow and Redfin, why are exclusive listings upending their platforms?
Well, thanks for having me, Andrea. I would argue actually that it's not, right? People kind of look at Zillow from the wrong perspective. There's always been exclusive listings, and you've got agents who have the experience and they've got the connections and the marketing channels to get those listings in front of people. And today is no different, right? That's always been the case, and that's always going to be the case. Zillow is just another channel in the kind of real estate ecosystem.
How do these upcoming changes for the real estate market and for everyday buyers affect how we shop online for homes?
Well, I think it highlights the importance of working with an experienced professional, someone who's got both the connections and the network as well as experience marketing. So if you think about it from the perspective of they get a listing, they want to get it in front of the right people. Or if they've got a buyer who's looking for a particular type of home, they've got access to these other listings. Of course, you've got Zillow and Redfin and the MLS and all of these systems that people have access to, but an experienced agent has access to these exclusive listings, and they can tap into those through their connections or through their marketing channels. And, I don't really see it as any different. It's just different from the perspective of people who don't have that level of experience in the real estate industry. So they see things changing, but they don't realize that it's really not that much different than it's ever been.
I want to get your take on this because this is kind of interesting. Some of these moves by Zillow have drawn the attention of the FTC with an antitrust complaint. How does this impact Zillow and, in your opinion, the overall industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. And Zillow is definitely facing a lot of scrutiny. They're dealing with a number of PR crises right now. And there's been talk about this merger with Compass. If they do end up doing that, that's going to put even more scrutiny on them. That Compass Anywhere real estate merger was about $1.6 billion. So that's definitely going to get the FTC very interested in anything connected to Compass. And we've also got the 2026 midterm elections coming up. The existing politicians who are running for re-election or the new ones who are running for office are very likely to jump on that as kind of low-hanging fruit, both from the perspective of housing affordability and from the perspective of data privacy, because the reality is Zillow is a data company. They're not actually a real estate company. So that will very likely draw a lot of additional scrutiny, which is going to steer the direction of some of the decisions that Zillow makes. Now, despite the flaws that they may have, Zillow, losing Zillow or Zillow drastically changing their model would negatively impact both home buyers and home sellers.
How much trust, one final question for you here, how much trust should consumers put into these online real estate sites? Because oftentimes they conflate value, which changes the game.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I kind of look at it as trust but verify.
Yeah.
Zillow is just one channel, and they've got their Zestimate, which was kind of their claim to fame when they came out in, I think it was 2006. But everybody loved the Zestimate because it presented it in a way that really benefited the home owner, right? The prices were typically inflated. But what happened was when people started going to market and they realized that buyers weren't actually willing to pay those prices, then there was a problem. Then they lost a lot of trust in the market. So use Zillow, but don't overly rely on the price that the Zestimate is telling you the home is worth.
Jeremy, thank you. Great insight. We're going to post this interview on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Thanks so much. Here's some trending stories going around. Cue the Hollywood outrage. A Dutch filmmaker has just introduced an AI-generated actress. It's at the Zurich Film Festival. Her name, Tilly Norwood.
Next door vibes.
Like if a Sunday roast went to drama school and got BAFTA optimized.
But can she cry on Graham Norton?
Of course she can, and it'll be clipped, subtitled, and monetized on TikTok by lunchtime.
We're all going to hell. Got recommissioned, didn't it?
3 seasons and a podcast.
Tilly is the creation of a production company known as Particle 6. Tilly, now being shopped around Hollywood at talent agencies for work as an actress, model, and spokesperson. The company has created what many call, what they say, the perfect girl next door. Say they kind of remind her a combination between Princess Kate,
yep.
Natalie Portman, a little bit of Sydney Sweeney in there as well. But this is the big thing that SAG and AFTRA, thank you. NAFTA, they don't care about this kind of stuff. But AFTRA fought about is that using current actors for the future. But, you know, I never really heard anything about AI, you know, new people that are just a conglomeration, I guess, of an actress. But I know that using you as, and that's a big issue, actually.
It's a huge issue. And what they're doing is they're venturing into this whole digital domain, and it's hard for a number of these unions to kind of get a handle on it. And it's terrifying for, you know, an actor or a performer, because here you've got a digital AI. She looks, I mean, I can't tell the difference when you look at some of the video that she's in. And they're going to put her in commercials, podcasts, she'll host
They need
shows.
to say that it's AI, I
Yes,
think. I think
they
there
do.
needs
I
to be
agree.
rules out there right now for that.
Hello?
Hello, Jackson. I've been staring at you.
Mitch, really?
Get it?
Come on.
So, yes, what are you doing?
And so? Really? Please. Later.
Yo.
Hey, Matt, I'm looking down and looking up to you.
Really?
I can't wait to get...
You know I know it's you, right? Like, Mitch, you can't...
No, it's not. No, this is not Mitch.
Horrible voice. I'll talk to you later. Peace and love. Bye.
Shut up. You killed me. It took me a long time. But you of all people know that dead is just a word.
Hey now, welcome to Preview Review this week, where I, Matt Doolittle, give you a sneak peek while we speak geek. Well, this week we are reviewing Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's swing at an Oscar with his latest movie, The Smashing Machine.
Probably looking at my eyes.
How did that happen?
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC?
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best he has ever seen.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
How do you know Mark Kerr? Oh, we go way back. But he's a buddy of mine.
Come on, baby. Too much?
Never.
Too much?
No.
Please welcome in his Octagon debut, Mark Kerr!
Winning is the best feeling there is. It's 40,000 people, and they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world.
Well, biopics have long been Oscar favorites, and The Smashing Machine seems to be right in line with that. Directed by Benny Safdie and starring Dwayne Johnson as real-life UFC fighter Mark Kerr, the film dives into the athlete's turbulent late 90s struggles with addiction, mental health, and love amid his rise and fall in the fighting world. Johnson delivers a surprisingly tender, emotional performance showcasing vulnerability rarely seen in sports dramas, while Emily Blunt plays his volatile girlfriend, Dawn. Got to see this last week. Yeah. I'm a huge Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson fan. Now, let me tell you, the acting that he did was great. Emily Blunt, okay, it was a little over-dramatized. However, I feel like they left a lot out of the actual Mark Kerr story, and it only made $6 million over the weekend, and it cost, and for an A24 film, this is odd, $50 million.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
It is, and they left out a lot of stuff. They didn't go into how Mark Kerr had to fight cancer, and at the end of his career, lost all of his money and ended up working at a car dealership for a little bit. Now, Dwayne does give a great Oscar performance, but again, it just didn't feel like the whole movie was something that people would want to go see. It's another fighter movie. I can understand why people were like, I'm going to go see Taylor Swift this weekend because it just didn't give that off. The Rock did a lot of decent promotion. However, he didn't go back to his fan base, the WWE, to promote it, which I feel like kind of left wrestling fans going, oh, now you're going to leave us. We all saw him lose the 30 pounds he had to put on for this, which freaked everybody out. So I feel like that kind of had that disconnect. And again, we're back in this genre where people are just kind of seeing every type of fighting movie. It's another one of these punchy, smashy things. Now, the fight scenes are great. The drama stuff's great. They use Mark Kerr's real friends in it. I have a personal friend who actually trained with him in Minnesota. So there was that, and he's known out there, but you just didn't get that connection with it. It didn't feel like a Rocky. It didn't feel like something you wanted to dive into.
All right, let me ask. Let's talk about The Rock. Do you think now this is the path he's going to go down as far as taking these artsy films, or do you think he'll go back to those big box office smash? Do you think that, or is this the show, hey, I do know how to act? What do you think?
I think he's showing the range. The makeup's great until he has to shave his head in the movie. Then you're like, oh, that's The Rock.
That's The Rock.
That was the thing when he had to shave the head. I think he's going to go more that way. Look, he's 53. You can only keep up that size and keep going that long. And look, Stallone and Schwarzenegger hit that peak at one point, and then those action movies just started falling off. Granted, they brought him back a little bit, but did anybody remember the last two Transformers?
I don't know.
I don't remember seeing that last Rambo. They beat the Expendables into the ground.
Okay.
I think he's going to have to kind of gauge that because his last action movie, which was really what I remember being Black Adam, horrible. And it was a disaster.
Okay, Oscar or no Oscar?
I think he'll be up for it unless someone else comes along. I think they're going to give it to him. I think he did a great job because he really transformed into this guy who's a soft-spoken. You didn't really see any of The Rock in there. You could see him, but you know what I mean? You couldn't see him.
All right. Matt, stick around here. I want to talk a little bit more about that. Of course, it's in theaters now. You can check it out. A24 films always have that gritty look feel.
Yes.
It's always really, really good here. Maybe a date movie if you think about that.
Yes.
But it's definitely straight for streaming.
Straight for streaming. Okay.
It's a streamer.
Well, maybe you have a date night at home.
Date night,
yeah.
Netflix and chill, right?
We were talking soulmates, right? I mean, is it a
soulmates
thing?
is one of those.
Is it not a thing?
Here's the thing.
In the movie, is his wife his soulmate? I don't know.
That's the point. Like, okay,
they separate. So
that's what I'm saying. So if somebody would say that was your soulmate, well, you're not supposed. If that was your soulmate, then why would you ever break up? But you talk about it's about locale. Like if you think about the industry, you find people that have similar likes in the industry.
Exactly.
Imagine location has something to do with it.
Well, when I was living in Los Angeles, it's funny you mentioned that because when you live in LA, you don't date outside of your zip code. You stay like if you live in Burbank, you date in Burbank, but you don't date somebody from Pasadena or Malibu. It's not even possible.
And directions are
huge. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense because first off, it's because of convenience. Nobody driving in LA is crazy. First off, but then can you say that that's your soulmate? Or you mentioned when you're dating. So if you want to start looking for somebody more serious, would you go in the valley or something like that? I guess that's where I'm.
No.
Tell you what, let's talk more about it. Talk about how people are dating a little bit more around. When we come back, we'll talk more about it. And we'll get your thoughts, too.
I love it.
We love to hear from you. Flash at dailyflashshow.com or our website.
dailyflashshow.com.
Stick around. We got more after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch English.
Yes, he is. Hey. I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. And we've got Matt Doolittle standing by with a look at our local friends. Hey, Matty.
Yes, we have 219 beautiful, lovely, fantastically precious affiliates across the country, including the Armed Forces Network across the world. And today we are giving a shout out to WLHY in Harrisburg, PA.
Yay!
The problem Harrisburg has is they're so close to Hershey that everybody gets them mixed up and they kind of go between each other. But they kind of share a lot of the same stuff between their borders. So they kind of partner up, but they're also like, hey, we've got a bigger bridge than you. Enjoy your chocolate.
Is 3 Mile Island near that area? Do you know? I don't know. I mean, speaking out of class here. Okay, we're talking about areas. Anybody know what zip coding is? Ever heard of zip coding? It comes with dating. Have you ever heard of zip coding?
Zip coding.
No.
Oh,
Control room?
Is it? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, well, let's see. Control room. Anybody
Anyone
in the control room? Have you guys heard of zip coding when it comes to dating? The reason okay.
Yes, Hugo has.
Hugo has. The other
Anyone
guys
else?
haven't. The millennials haven't. What about you?
I'm
What do you think zip code
guessing
is?
it has to do with dating somebody within your own zip code.
Circle gets a square. Jackson, get it. You're going to do great out there in the dating world.
Yes.
Oh, you're already taken. That's too bad.
Yes, but I'm zip coding because he lives with me.
There you go. Okay, actually, yeah, and y'all had met we were working together. First off, I love that, by the way.
Yes.
I love relationships like that. Okay, so zip coding means that you only date people within your zip code. Quickly, I'm going to go back into the control room again. Show of hands. I'm just going to ask you two. Soulmates, do you believe in them? Yes or no? Soulmates.
Yes.
You believe in soulmates?
Yep.
Okay, control room, who believes in soulmates?
Keegan's still looking.
I think soulmates are...
Adriana, Hugo. Yes.
No,
Sean,
me and James
no.
the same way. Okay, I think soulmates is a load of crap. Let me tell you why.
Tell me why.
Okay, because you're telling me that I wound up, because of a job, kind of put me here in Orlando. I met my beautiful, the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with right here in Orlando.
And the problem
was it forces all bringing us together?
Yep.
Or was it, you know what, I found somebody, and in your zip code, if you think about it, somebody that has similar interests and also I think could be good for me. And I feel like that I wouldn't say that the universe put us together, and I think my wife would say the same thing, because who's to say there's not a woman in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania that was not supposed to be with me? Do you know what I'm saying?
But maybe if you lived in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
But
the
I
universe
don't.
will deliver that same kind of woman to you.
But that's the problem. But see, then why don't a car hit me and then a nurse is my future mate when I'm in the hospital?
But couldn't both things be true? That you meet somebody in your particular area that you have similar interests with, and that it just so happened that the universe did put you in this particular
Do they have
place.
soulmates on Facebook? Let me ask you that.
I don't believe there's soulmates on. Facebook to me is soulless.
Plus they have filters.
Plus they have filters.
Granted,
Well,
I found my soulmate on an app. So
does Facebook, if you live... I'm just going to get in trouble if I keep on talking.
That's okay. What were you gonna say?
I don't believe... I just don't... Apparently, there's a whole soulmates that you can find on Facebook. That's all I'm saying.
I was with a couple...
There are not.
I've been with a couple soul sucker mates.
You've been saying, Matt?
I've been with a couple soul sucker mates.
Soul sucker, yes, they will do just that.
They went the opposite way.
All right, so they're saying that the more extreme variant of this is that the situational monogamy, meaning that you find somebody that has those similar attributes that you're looking for. I think there's people like that everywhere, and I also feel that way with marriage. Is that when you're married, you're making a commitment to really learn from each other.
Yeah.
Okay, and does that person have to be a soulmate? All I know is like me and you. Would you say like you're my TV wife?
We're work soulmates.
Well, yeah, because we keep on coming back together. We are. That is true. But like you teach me a lot, and I'm okay with that. Like it's a marriage. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, and we get along great. So would I call that a soulmate, an employable soulmate? That's where I'm trying to get at.
You're saying.
Is that you as a human being can be any way. You can learn from any other person, and it's up to you if you're going to make those changes and
I guess
become a
the
better
question
person.
is, and I know we only have a few seconds left, is that you sometimes you just jive with someone really well and you don't know why, and it's just a perfect match.
Let us know. Soulmates, are they real? Do you believe in them or not?
This is Tim. Tim is all about time, and if you've ever had a chance to look into Tim's cold, dead eyes, you'll see that it's time for you to follow us on social media. Sure, there's 10,000 social sites out there, and we don't have the time to name them all. Seriously, just ask Tim. So take the time to look for Daily Flash TV on your favorite social sites and start following us. That's all the time, Tim. Goodbye.
Welcome back. Time to help your home with some of the best DIY ideas we find online. We start with 3 easy IKEA home hacks from the Flipped Piece.
The first one is this 5-pound IKEA Trampa doormat. These doormats are great because they're completely blank and you can use some paint to create any designs you want to match your home and decor style. With this particular doormat, I'm going to be creating a checkerboard pattern, and I'm doing this by measuring out equal distance squares and marking them out with a pink pen so they're noticeable and I can paint over them. I chose the color Drop Cloth, which is my go-to neutral color, and I painted away and made sure all the squares were nice and even with one another. Once dry, I took some matte clear coat, sprayed it to seal it up, and this is the final look. A really easy way to transform a 5-pound doormat. The next one is this IKEA Samara basket. I used some scissors and cut a little hole in the back. Then I took my Wi-Fi router and I fed the cables through the back. Once I covered it, it's just a great way to disguise any Wi-Fi router and hide those ugly cables. What do you think about this one? The next hack is this 12-pound IKEA Carnarvik side table. It's an avocado-colored metal side table, so I brought it home, I built it, and my plan was to make this into a little mid-century inspired side table. I used my miter saw to cut some wood dowels, laid them out, and then I used some wood glue to attach them along all the sides of this side table. I used caulk to fill in the gaps, chose my favorite brown stain to stain the wood, and this is the little mid-century inspired side table.
Very cool. Now let's check in with our home improvement guy, Gator, who has a quick and easy fix for wall patch. Hey, Gator.
So I've got this nail pop right here. It's actually, this sheetrock was actually screwed on. It's probably been about 20 years or so since this house was built. You could have nails there. So, and it just popped a little piece of the sheetrock off and, the screw backed out a little bit. That's just part of it. So what I'm going to do to fix this is I'm going to use another drywall screw like this, okay? And I'm going to use some pre-mixed drywall mud in a little bucket like this that you can get at your hardware store for less than $10. And since there's already a screw here, I'm going to tighten this screw up a little bit, and then I'm going to put this screw right above it so that the head of this screw actually holds the screw or the nail in, and I'll show you that right now. So all you have to do is I'm just going to take this drill, and I'm actually just going to tighten that screw up a little bit because that screw backed out some. Then I'm going to take this screw, I'm just going to put it right above that screw, just like this. I'm going to screw that in there. Now the head of that screw is blocking that screw, okay? It's not going to back out. Now once you get that done, you want to take your putty knife and just take a little bit of your pre-mixed sheetrock mud out of your bucket here, okay, just like that. And you just want to fill that hole in, wipe it off just like that. Let that dry, come back, paint it, be as good as new. Now you can absolutely use spackle or some other kind of little joint compound or any kind of something if you get something small and just put it on there with your finger. This is just the way I like to do it. Works best overall. Have a good day. All right then. Next!
And we found this great page on Facebook for some vintage home remedies. Want to know the secret to opening a jar with a tough lid or preventing your pot from boiling over? Well, here you go.
If you have a jar that you can't open, you just whack-a-dack it all around the edge with a butter knife real quick, and it will immediately open. Yes! You can also run it under hot water, and again, that will expand the metal and pop open that top. You've probably heard the hack of putting a wooden spoon over your pot so it doesn't overboil, but did you hear this one? A toothpick can actually stop a pot from overboiling with the lid on, so you can still have the benefits of the lid on, but no mess.
How about that for some vintage home hacks? For more information on anything you've seen here for Help My Home, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com, and look for that Help My Home tab. We're back right after this.
Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
A little home maintenance in early fall can actually prevent major headaches down the road when winter hits. Here's how to get ahead before the busy holiday season gets underway. Check this out.
Fall is here and the holidays aren't far behind. That means it's time for homeowners to focus on seasonal maintenance before cool weather and busy gatherings get underway. With more, here's Angie co-founder Angie Hicks.
Taking care of a few simple projects can help homeowners save time and money later on. Inspect your furnace and HVAC system. Clean out your gutters, seal gaps around doors and windows, and make sure your attic insulation is in good shape.
Even minor home issues can become major problems during the holidays. Preparing now keeps your home running smoothly when it matters most.
Between cooler weather, holiday travel, and hosting guests, you want to make sure you don't have any home issues. The key is getting ahead. Check your roof and chimney, winterize outdoor faucets, flush your water heater, and schedule any small repairs. A little preparation keeps your home ready to welcome family and friends for the holiday season.
For more home maintenance tips and to find trusted pros in your area, visit Angie.com.
Great stuff there. Hey, you want to make your home and your office future ready? My buddy, digital lifestyle expert Mario Armstrong joins us with an exclusive look at HP's brand new tech lineup. Hey there, Mario.
Hi, thanks so much for having me again on the Daily Flash. And you're right, I'm excited to partner with HP to share all these innovations coming your way.
Okay, let's talk about some of the trends that you're seeing and how these new devices can help out. What are they?
We're seeing that hybrid work and multitasking are here to stay, and people need tech that keeps up with their busy lifestyles. So HP is leaning into this with products that give you flexibility and fit the way we work now. So for example, for remote workers and creators, the HP Series 5 Pro 14-inch portable monitor, this is a dual screen you can set up anywhere. It's super lightweight, has a durable cover that can be used as a mouse pad, and it lets you easily tilt between angles so you can work the way you want, which is really great. And for busy people managing multiple projects or video calls, check this out. This is the HP Series 5 Pro 49-inch conferencing monitor. It is a massive screen, web camera right here at the top, and it's got smart features like being able to control 2 computers with just 1 keyboard and mouse.
Let's talk about an accessory for maybe even bigger projects, like say video editing and maybe presentations.
Oh, so I'm also loving the HP Ultra Fast Scroll Wireless Mouse 785M. It's the world's first battery-free wireless mouse with a side scroll wheel, which makes it easier to scroll the screen faster. It recharges in just 3 minutes, and it has customizable scroll speeds for all types of demanding work. Very cool and very functional.
AI is all the buzz right now. How is HP adapting all of this for families that are going to print things at home?
This is big. This is an exclusive. HP just brought AI into home printing for the first time with the HP Envy Photo 7900 all-in-one printer. So whether you're printing school projects or vacation photos, it uses photo-enhanced ink and true-to-screen color technology that's going to make everything look vibrant. Like what you see on your phone is what you're going to see. And thanks to their built-in AI technology, your prints are automatically formatted. You won't have to do a bunch of trial and error, no wasted pages and ink. It's easy to set up in minutes. It has a separate tray for photo paper so you can switch from documents to photos without juggling paper. It's also made with at least 60% recycled plastic, so it's a greener choice. And with the intuitive HP app, families can easily create custom cards, edit photos, and make personalized keepsakes right from your phone. It just turns printing into something creative and fun for the whole family.
Mario, great stuff as always. Where can we find more info?
For all the details, just head to hp.com.
Would a loved one have access to your medical or financial records in an emergency? Here's more about the 5-day challenge that can help get your digital house in order.
Does your digital life feel more like a junk drawer than a tidy desk? Whether it's updating passwords or organizing digital files, Tom Camber, Executive Director of Senior Planet from AARP, has tips for getting your digital house in order.
We all have organizing projects that we put off, and that's just as true in our online lives as in our homes. In a recent survey, more than half of people over 50 say they are having trouble managing and organizing their digital information.
To help reverse the trend, Senior Planet is launching the 2025 Digital House Cleaning Challenge.
Think of it like spring cleaning, but for your digital life. Senior Planet's 5-day Digital House Cleaning Challenge helps you tackle your privacy settings, password managers, file storage, and more with simple step-by-step tips. We've broken it down into one easy checklist. It's free, it's practical, and it gives you control over your digital life.
To join the challenge, visit seniorplanet.org/digital house cleaning.
Subsea human habitation could make living under the sea a reality. Deep, an engineering and tech company, has just announced that it's expanding its operations in the U.S. Here's more.
Deep is an engineering company that is expanding human subsea capabilities to humanity, and we're really excited about Project Vanguard. So Vanguard is our first habitat. It is a pilot human subsea habitat that is going to allow for 4 people to live on the bottom of the ocean for at least 7 days, if not longer. We're really excited about being able to get that first habitat built and in the water. And this is going to allow for researchers to have extended bottom time and be able to extend their opportunities for things like data collection and observation. And that's done by 2 ways. So one is just that continuous presence on the bottom of the ocean, living in that subsea habitat and really becoming a part of that surrounding environment. And then also because diving from a subsea habitat, you become equilibrated to the surrounding environment. So instead of doing 30, 45, 60-minute dives like you would with traditional scuba diving, you can do extended duration dives that are hours at a time. So again, really extending those opportunities for the research community, also for exploration, for educators, and even for the spaceflight community for doing things like training and being able to do things like testing and evaluation of technology before it goes to space station. And so, again, we're building that first subsea habitat in Florida and building out the research and development opportunities around Florida as well. And then we're also putting in our first manufacturing facility in Houston, Texas. And all of that's going to feed into this vision of distribution of subsea habitats around the world over time. So I had the opportunity to live in a subsea human habitat as part of a NASA mission, and I just had the opportunity to understand the impact of that sustained presence of living on the bottom of the ocean and how much work you can get done, how important it is to have that connection to the ocean. And we're really excited at Deep to be able to expand that opportunity to humanity. So you can check us out at deep.com, and you can follow our updates on socials at Deep Engineered.
Time for Stream for the Weekend. This is what you got to stream this weekend. Let's start off with AJ. What do you got, girl?
I found this great documentary on Hulu, and it's called Death in Apartment 603.
Was this ruled a suicide? It just does not add up.
I have investigated stabbing suicides in my career, but I've never seen anyone stab themselves in the back.
Everyone realized how strange and twisted this case was.
Big question is what happened to Ellen Greenberg? Initially it was a suicide, ruled a suicide, then it was a homicide, then it was back to a suicide, but she died by stabbing, and people are like, how did she stab herself in the back?
And statistically, women don't normally kill themselves with pills, right?
Yeah,
because it's a vanity thing.
Exactly.
Right? So that is very interesting.
It's a good documentary.
Wild. Well, my pick this week is on YouTube, and it's Josh Gad Faces the Haunted Mansion Alone. Check it out.
Hello, Josh Gad here. I'm here for my time at Haunted Mansion, and I'm just dying to get in. Oh, wow, I didn't know a camera was here. Yeah, so I guess I was supposed to work the mansion today, but apparently that's not gonna happen because the gates are opening.
Yeah, so it's a fun, quick little video. Obviously, it's Halloween, so they're pushing that. And the fun fact with Josh Gad is he applied for a job here at Walt Disney World and didn't get it. And now he's in like the Disney Hall of Fame because he's Olaf and he's played a lot of characters and all that. So he's like, I'm glad I didn't get that job back in the day.
There is so much history in the Haunted Mansion itself.
Yeah.
Best ride.
You can go down a whole YouTube hole of different stuff out there.
All right, pour yourself a pint and get comfy. House of Guinness streaming right now. Trust me, this one's going to have so much more twist than a bar towel after a last call.
The death of your father has served to poke a stick in a hornet's nest.
A gift from Mr. Guinness. From a representative of the Dublin poor.
4 kids must fight over power, secrets, and the future of the family beer business. It's a family drama, betrayal, ambition, all served cold. A dash of Irish grit. It's on Netflix right now, and it is the true story of the Guinness Beer Company. So.
I like how it starts out fiction based on true stories.
It's really, it's cool.
Isn't that everything in life?
It's a closed caption show, though.
It is.
Because it's Italian, it's hard to understand. Y'all take care. We'll see you when we look at you. Bye-bye.
Irish.